Well, hello there. For those of you that don't recognize me, my name is Deacon Jeff Ludwikowski, and I've recently been asked to participate in providing some of these periodic reflections after my recent assignment to the grouping of the cities of God. So, a little bit about myself. My bride Lucy and I have been married for almost 32 years. We have four children. The oldest is 30, the youngest is 25. And I practiced law for over 30 years until I recently retired. And I have to admit that on the occasion of my youngest child, my son's 25th birthday last month, I kind of got a little nostalgic. And I started thinking about what was going on in my life back 25 years ago around the time of his birth. And a conversation came to mind that I had at that time with one of the senior partners in the law firm I was with. I'm a good man, also a father who was approaching the end of his career, having put his children through college and got them launched. And I remember sharing my anxieties with him about how on earth was I ever going to manage this? I mean, I had done the math in my head and I knew what it was going to cost to raise these four children, hopefully send them to college, recognizing that three of them were going to be in college at the same time for several years. And I was convinced, and I shared with him, I was convinced that it was going to take a miracle to be able to make this happen. And he kind of looked at me in the eye and he said, Jeff, take a breath. Trust in God and it'll all work out. Well, I took some solace in that, but I have to admit, I was still convinced it was going to take a miracle. Miracles. You ever thought about miracles? The Encyclopedia Britannica tells us that miracles are astonishing or extraordinary happenings that are attributed to the intervention of a divine power, to God. Pretty amazing things, these miracles. And you know, today, April 16th, is really all about miracles. Our readings for Mass today are all about miracles. Our first reading from the Acts of the Apostles tells us how the apostles were being persecuted by the Jewish leaders after the resurrection for working miracles in the name of Jesus. This Jesus, who these Jewish leaders had just recently crucified. Our gospel today, actually, too, is about a very familiar miracle. The miracle of Jesus multiplying the fishes and the loaves, Jesus himself. And today, April 16th, coincidentally, is the feast day of Saint Bernadette Soubirous, the visionary of Our Lady of Lourdes. Most of you are probably familiar with Lourdes, France, the site of a major shrine. Pilgrimages, Catholic pilgrimages every year, make Lourdes their destination. Tens of thousands of Catholics visit Lourdes every year and have for the 145 years since the shrine has been there, looking for a miracle. But the reality is that those miracles are relatively fairly rare. In the roughly 145 years since Lourdes has been a shrine, there have only been about 70 confirmed miracles. 70 miracles over 145 years to tens of thousands of people that visit every year. It's really not all that many. Now, you know, when we look at the Old Testament, it seems like miracles were happening every day. I mean, we start with God talking to Adam and Eve directly, instructing Noah to build an ark to save the world, the angel appearing to Abraham, the miraculous birth of Jacob, Joseph's dreams that saved the people from the famine, Moses parting the Red Sea, Joshua bringing down the walls of Jericho, and of course, all the various visions and miracles performed by the prophets over the years, Elijah, Elisha, Isaiah, all the way up to the time of the Maccabees, where the oil in the lamp did not run out, a date that's celebrated as Hanukkah by our Jewish brothers and sisters. But the reality is that from Abraham to Jesus' time is over 2,000 years, maybe thousands more going all the way back to the time of Noah. Really not all that many miracles over thousands of years. But then, of course, we get to Jesus' time. And Jesus, it seems like he worked hundreds of miracles during the course of his public ministry. But he didn't. Biblical scholars say that they can attribute really only about 37 or 38 miracles to Jesus during the course of his public ministry. To Jesus himself, the Son of God, God made man incarnate over 3 years, 37 or 38 miracles. Not all that many. The fact is, miracles always have been and still are pretty rare. And that's because God does not grant miracles as a personal favor to someone or in response to someone's particularly devout prayers because they merit or earn a miracle. That's never been the reason for miracles. Jesus multiplied the fishes and the loaves to bring the people to him, to believe in him, to increase their faith. The apostles worked miracles to bring the people to Jesus, to increase their faith. All the Old Testament miracles were to increase the faith of the people, to build up the people of God, to build up the church. And that's still true today. So, I have to say, looking back on the last 25 years, remembering that conversation I had with my partner 25 years ago when I said, it's going to take a miracle to get these kids launched. And now, sitting here today, 3 of them married, all 4 of them graduates of Penn State University, all launched in their careers, doing very well. 2 of them have given us 3 grandchildren already. Most importantly, all 4 of them still strong in their faith. I look back on that and how I thought back then that it's going to take a miracle. And I got to think now, maybe, just maybe, miracles aren't all that rare. If we're just willing to see them. Have a blessed day.